Hi, I'm Rasheed Ogunlaru, coach, speaker and author. I just want to share a little something with you actually today. I happened to be watching the news yesterday, which should be called Some News, by the way, instead of The News, because it is just some news. And on the news there was an item about, up until then, the oldest living person in the UK had just died, aged 110 years old. And they showed a news clip of him from about a year ago when he was 109 years old. And this interview, and this guy was still very buoyant, still very much full of life. And he said, there are three questions in life. Who am I? Why am I here? And where am I going? And I smiled. And he's absolutely right. And this first question is perhaps the most compelling question. Who am I? I ask you that question. When I first had been asked this question, when I first heard this question, and if you're hearing it for the first time, you might have the same reaction because it's a bit of a strange one. Well, who am I? I first heard this question 10, 12, maybe so years ago. And it's a question I asked myself over a number of years. And what's interesting about this question that you ask yourself isn't so much the answer. In fact, this particular guy at 110, 109 years old said, I still don't know the answers. But there's something powerful that happens with the asking of the question. Something interesting that happens in terms of the movement of the mind. As I asked myself this question, I found all sorts of things bubbled up and I realised, well, hang on. Am I my name? My name was given to me. Am I my career? My career's changed. Am I my gender? I didn't choose that. Am I my heritage, my ethnicity? I didn't choose that. Am I any of the things that I have skills, preferences and desires and things for? Well, I didn't choose any of that, particularly those tastes and things. Is that who it is that I am? And so all these things and all the thoughts and the ideas and so on came through. Is that who it is that I am? None of these really things kind of quite land, or they're not wholly who it is that one is. And so for this process of looking at this stuff, I realised that in fact everything that I had learned and acquired and assimilated had been exactly that. Been taught words, taught language. Those weren't mine. Been given all sorts of ideas, read all sorts of books. We arrive at a certain age in our life and we believe, this is me, this is my ideas, this is what I think, this is what I believe. It's extraordinary, isn't it? We get to a particular point in adulthood and day to day we convince ourselves that we know what we think we know. But it's just knowledge acquired. And then we see life through that lens. We see ourselves and the world through that lens. But that's imperfect knowledge. It's limited knowledge. If I don't have all knowledge, how can I know what I know that I know for sure, unequivocally, undisputedly, fully? And so as I asked that question, all sorts of other pressures, the stresses and all this kind of stuff dissolved. I realised I didn't know. And that was liberating. And that's what many people who ask themselves this question, who am I, find. There is something beyond how one sees oneself at the moment in this shape and form. Through this very fixed lens of this is who I am. There's something subtler. Is this flesh and bone and the rest of it? Is this all I am? This is all I am. What gives rise to what it is that I am? What illuminates what it is that I am? And if we can put aside what it is that we've been taught, told, and read, there's a space, and unknowing. And that's liberation. It's liberating. And it's this space, this silence, this quiet, where the mind calms. It's far more at peace with itself. And there's less narrative going on that is potent. Suddenly I'm far more alert. Suddenly I'm far more present. Suddenly I'm far more available to life. Appreciative of life. Connected to life. I'm far more aware of how I'm feeling right now and any things that may need to be attended to. I'm far more alert to my surroundings. I'm far more compassionate to myself and to my fellow human beings. And that's the invitation of life. I also call it this movement from head to heart. People were wedded in all sorts of different ways. And so that's just what I wanted to share with you today. Just that invitation of that question of, who am I? I wish you all the best. I wish you every happiness. Take care and see you on another video soon. Take care.